All right, we're live. Anyone want to do a quick recap from the last time we met 100 million years ago?
Nothing happened last time we met.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
We basically talked about what our plans were going to be.
We went into.
We know how to make a junk session. I tell you what.
We went into town, or some people went into town to see if they could find a doctor for Charles. After talking about what our plans would be, we met somebody who there was a little confusion about whether or not they were being made the manager of McCormick's Folly, but apparently they were never actually appointed. Bigger the Chateau Boom was is a potential future manager, maybe, but not currently the manager.
He's got to go to manager training.
Right. Trying to remember what else. They did find the healer, the little halfling guy, who apparently has inadvertently been given all the credit for bringing people out of the comas when it was actually our animal friends who did all the real work.
And he was being hoisted at the bar, and many people were buying him drinks.
He refused to walk.
Yeah. Luckily, we brought the Elatrix. We retconned the Elatrix.
Right.
Retroactively.
See, whereas on more than one occasion, I remember Ivar walking to the town, and I was told it was like 2 hours away. So it's like, 2 hours of walking. Now I'm learning. Now I'm learning there's an Elatrix. What the hell?
Which Ivar definitely would have stolen at multiple points. Especially during his Caterlick binges. Oh my god.
Ivar he's not in this party anymore. He's gone. He's a character.
We also we narrowly missed starting the War of Charles's Testicle.
Forgot about that.
Because the price for regrowing his testicle was like 5,000 gold pieces, and Martha was going to try to persuade him through persuasion.
Magical persuasion.
Magical persuasion. So then that didn't. He decided against it, lest an inter-house quarrel start.
Yes.
The last thing you want to do is piss off the people that can heal you.
Right. Martha was going to try to arrange caravan duty for the various ne'er-do-wells and layabouts that are currently occupying the guild hall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Put them to work.
Yeah.
Ivar got super high and set up a bunch of spooky dolls in Charles's room while he was being treated.
Each one looking at him.
And we decided we were going to go to the Elding Reaches via Drome.
Yes, we did.
So did Flamekeeper Stenson do anything after I left?
Okay, so you guys went trying to seek out information about the healer, and he pointed you towards the halfling, right?
Yes.
So, after you left, I mean, I don't really know, because I don't think anybody stuck. And Martha, you were with him, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think you stuck around very long.
Nah, he doesn't like me. Not as bad as Petrie, but
Yeah.
he doesn't like any of us. So.
Alright. And the halfling was that was the one who gave me the roids ages ago. Yeah.
He gave you the
So
what?
the same one, the roids, like when
No, that's Morley. Morley,
okay.
the apothecary. he's actually a native of Ironside.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, Morley is different. He's a friend of Colmar's.
Right on.
So clearly a little off his rocker. All right. So, you guys, have you gotten all of your provisions and everything then?
I think I provisioned them.
Oh, and I forgot I went up 3 levels. The unclaimed levels were all claimed by me. Yeah, I mean, other than, Ivar will continue to get high until we have like a definite date that we're going. But I think he was expecting it was going to take Martha like a day or two to find work for all the McCormick's Folly people.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of that, Martha, you do a good job of setting up House of Ryan and McCormick's Folly with getting some work. So that definitely improves the morale of those that are there kind of squatting at the guild hall, since they now have work and the promise of income and adventure, since boredom was also a big piece of what they were dealing with. And also now you guys also have more of an income as shareholders in McCormick's Folly.
Must be nice for you guys.
Yeah, who has shares?
Oh yes, only half of present company are actual shareholders.
After shoot, what's his name? Fenris. After Fenris was taken, did his shares? Did he have shares, or was that before we got shares? I don't remember if it happened then or if it was after the cultist.
It was after the cultists.
Yeah,
because McCormick's injuries were just too severe, and so he decided to completely retire from the guild that he started.
Well, Martha is feeling fairly generous, so he turns to Ivar and says, you can have a quarter of my shares. It's not fair that you guys aren't shareholders at this point. You've died just about as many times, or almost died as many times as we have.
Ivar's eyes are glassed over, and he's staring off into the middle distance, and he says, "Cool."
I thought you would like it.
And then he just picks up a cat and just begins rubbing the cat onto his face.
What do we know of the Eldine Reaches? I mean, we know we're kind of looking for some old tree or something, if I remember correctly.
So common knowledge of the Eldine Reaches.
I'm looking for that uncommon knowledge.
Well, we'll get to that. So a couple of points to note that everybody is pretty familiar with is that the Eldine Reaches is first and foremost known because that is where the headquarters for House.
What
was that?
House who?
House Vidalis. And they are the ones that have the dragon mark of handling. So they're the ones that developed Elmorn's chocolate milk mousse or cow.
Yes.
It is largely unworked land. Most mostly deciduous forest, and it is interesting as well. The land was set up after the Treaty of Thronehold to be its own country because it was not one of the 5 nations. It was given sovereignty due to the presence of the numerous druidic sects that exist there and call it home. And so the government is largely decentralized.
So it's like a bunch of tribes.
Yeah, kind of like tribes. It's almost like very Native American style of living off the land. Very much, largely those that exist there are trying to exist as being one with nature. House of Dallas being a slight exception, where they exist and have their headquarters. It's a little bit more worked. It's a little bit more urban-ish compared to the rest of it, but because they are in the Eldin Reaches and amongst all those druids, and since they do rely a great deal on the druids and their assistance and magic and everything, they do try to maintain this similar types of community living.
Okay.
It's also a lot of people are aware, especially Petrie, likely, is it's where the largest population and community of shifters reside. This because Church of the Silver Flame has always kind of put a connection between shifters and were creatures because they are in some ways very similar, although they're not seen as evil or attacked or outright by the church, since they don't carry any kind of curse as true were creatures do.
Inherited instead of bitten.
So it seems like we should bring in a small army of paladins to just clear out the forest.
I mean, it worked for America.
Yeah. Whatever that place is.
Although it might not work so well in that we're trying to get one of the head druids, the tree and Olean, to maybe give us a branch so that we can fix the spear. And he might not be so kindly disposed to us if we send in paladins to burn down everything. Although that might end the plagues that are going on up there.
Oh yeah, well, what are the plagues that are going on?
I don't have all of the information about them, but there are a number of them. They all seem to be different, and they appear to be mutating the victims as they go. They tend to be somewhat isolated, but they're circling in around Olean.
Interesting. Mutating, you say?
I believe so.
That sounds like a plague of this world. Well, do you know what the any of symptoms of this plague may be?
All I know is that they're all very different from one another.
So it could be different, like a different cause per incident.
I mean, ultimately, there's so many of them. I imagine there's some common cause, but it's almost as if some flesh weaver type character is trying to mutate different populations into different kinds of monsters.
I mean, according to our map, he's not too far from them.
That fucking map. Yeah, well, good luck crossing the Biesh Mountains, assholes.
Oh, there are some mountains there. Shit. We should probably take that into
We'll
consideration.
put some four-wheel drive tires on the Elytrix. Let's go.
Yeah, we can bring that with us, right?
So, well, if there's no discernible cause other than a possible flesh weaving scenario, then I suppose there's nothing we could take here that would protect us or offer any protection.
We could take that portal to his place and go talk to him.
I
don't think we should go to that, man.
I completely agree.
Just ask him to stop making the curse so bad for a little while we go get a spear. And he'll be like, okay, cool, guys.
Let's get some mountain climbing gear and then some forest trekking gear, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that's still the plan. See, if it is whatever his name is, I don't think he's going to want to know that we're going to remake a spear that might be able to kill him or interrupt all of the plagues he may be causing up there.
Well,
Yeah.
he would already know.
How would he already know?
He sees us.
What do you mean?
No, he doesn't.
He knows what we're doing all the time. He knows where we are.
I mean,
No, you're confusing him and Santa.
I mean, while I've been in this, any days that we've been here since we've not been in combat, our pets have, but I will have been using the Mordenkainen's private sanctum because I mean, Tassus is a little paranoid, especially after the fucking Mornlands. So ain't nobody scrying on us.
Yes. Unless there's some unearthly, unholy power that breaks the sanctum.
Nope. Not happening. Nope.
Or unless, Petrie's just leaving the area of effect of the spell every night to report to him.
Speaking of reporting, has Ivar been doing any of his business while he's been under the influence?
Not he would not have been talking to the stone while he's under the influence. But when he's sober, he still does.
Well, we haven't seen that in a while.
It's been a couple days.
It's nothing new to report. So shall we? So then it is back to Drome then.
Yeah, I'm getting some climbing gear.
Okay.
We gotta travel some goddamn mountains, so
Yeah, climbing here would probably be smart.
It's a good idea.
I got. Let's see here.
Martha is also going to order some.
I don't have a tent. Let's get a tent. A couple of tents.
Do we have Can we buy some like scrolls, like some flying scrolls? That'd be helpful.
Not an Ironside. That's a level of magic that's not common enough or cheap enough.
I'd have had that already. I want surgeon.
So how much is a climber's kit?
25 gold pieces according to this.
Yeah, you could probably nab some for a quarter of the price. McCormick's Folly. You still they'll sell it to you at cost.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Yeah, climber's kit. Let's see if there's mountains.
It's gonna be disease.
You know, how do we travel without tents? Like
you have
ever?
a bedroll, don't you?
Yeah, get a bedroll.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't protect you from the elements.
Well, up until now, I don't think you guys have ever done any actual trekking. Like
Right, we've slept underground. We've not really slept like outside all that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
We're gonna be going through mountains and then a forest. I'm gonna get a tent.
yeah. And even in the Moorlands, you were able to secure some kind of shelter.
Well, no, we slept in a cage naked. That was probably
Well, the glass houses.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you did do that. With your endo crabs.
Fuck. It's just there's so many layers to that. You're not supposed to play with yourself in a glass house, man.
No.
So yeah. Otherwise, I think I've got. Actually, I still have 3 bottles of Goodberry wine that I've never used. So we got that.
Might be handy.
Got rations and water, and the climber's kit.
We'll all be able to climb ourselves.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, I don't know what the climber's kit actually does. Like maybe it gives me advantage on my -1 athletics check to climb.
Well, worst comes to worst, I can fly and just carry you.
Well, now you say so.
I don't know if I'd be able to carry anybody else, but I can at least carry Ivar.
I mean, we do know that you can fly because you flew away whenever we were in the Moorlands.
That sounds like Martha. It's better than running away. So I don't remember how close or like where our where in Drome our or Elmorn's house or shelter was.
It was not super close, but closer than we are now to the Elding Reaches.
Right. So the shelter that Elmorn built is not too far outside of the area around Mordane's realm. So probably his entire his keep plus all the land around it, which is strangely terraformed, despite being in a desert, seems like a rush, thick rainforest type terrain. Probably extends about 5 miles from in all directions from his keep, and you guys were probably about a mile outside of that.
Okay.
And since that shit's on the map, you guys know where that is.
Well, you could just say that the guy from the Legend Lord told us. He marked it for us.
Sure.
So, are we using the portal to then go to the reaches, like climb the mountains and go through the reaches?
Yeah, we're gonna use the portal to go because that's where we were before we decided to come back.
Yeah.
So we're just going back to where we left the drone quest.
Yeah, that's a lot shorter of a trek than managing
all the way around. Yeah.
Traveling the lightning rails and still having to go around the one fucking city because of the fucking egg that you put there.
What?
Yeah,
No, I didn't.
Atter is
Yeah.
Your characters don't know it, but you guys know it's a mess out there.
Yeah, my gods told me that I fucked up.
They did that.
All right.
I mean, one plan we didn't consider was we go into Thrain, steal a lightning rail, and then take it along the disabled lightning rail tracks.
There's no possible thing that could go wrong with that idea.
Yeah, they are quite confused at the moment with the giant egg and all.
I mean, it doesn't. I don't know exactly how close it gets to where we need to go.
Tell me more.
Where is the disabled lightning rail?
I don't know. On the map I'm looking at, there's all sorts of disabled lightning rail tracks around that side of the continent.
Yeah, largely because the day of mourning disrupted so much of that transportation that many of the lines were not able to be recovered, and then also instances of the war where they were specifically sabotaged to limit supply runs and things of that nature.
I mean, there's actually a disabled lightning rail track that goes right through the line of the Bayeshk Mountains that we have to climb.
Oh, yeah, there is. That would have been nice.
Well, I mean, what are these lightning rails like? I mean, can we still use that rail? Would that not? Could it be an easier way to trek the?
Well, yeah. As someone who has actually piloted a lightning rail myself, I can tell you it is very difficult, and I could not do it for the length of time we would need. So we would also have to kidnap someone who's capable of piloting a lightning rail.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying we kidnap and or steal one of these things, but the rail itself, if it's out of commission going through that mountain, perhaps we find it.
Maybe
you know, so
I don't know anything about what do these things look like. So
yeah, so let me give you an idea. It's not a rail in the way that you're thinking. What it is it's a set of large monoliths that channel energy from the lightning elementals that were captured and bound for this purpose, and they're spaced apart at equal intervals, and the trains use them as a conductor to move through them. So it's not it's like trying to It's like kind of floating above them, but if any of them if the spacing is off, or if any of those monoliths are destroyed, the train can't travel over them.
Maybe we have some influence with Brevin still. Maybe he could arrange us a rail.
I think it's going to be quicker for us to port back to where we were and start heading north.
Yeah,
Petrie,
so.
I would like to know, what is your idea of how you would reach Brevin at this point? given that the last time you saw him, he was in Valiacar, I believe, trying to deal with the aftermath of the Warforged attacking the train.
Send him a no message, maybe.
Where would you send it?
Presumably, send it to Raken. Presumably, send it to Raken. Yeah, just to Brevin.
No, you tie it to an owl and then you just let it go.
Yes.
If that goes fine, it goes and finds Brevin. It's magic, right?
And then, even if it gets to Brevin, Brevin probably will say no. Because, the pitch has to be, hey, Brevin, can you go repair all of the disabled lightning rails and then provide us with a lightning rail car so that we can get to the Elden Ring more easily?
Yeah.
So it looks like we do a little mountain climbing.
Yes.
Yep.
So when we're ready, I know Ivar is not Ivar. Elmorn is totally with us.
He wants to see his old tent again.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the fabulous tent that he put so much work into. And was immediately.
It better still be in pristine condition.
Oh come on. It absolutely is. He built that thing to last.
So when we're ready,
you guys are gonna teleport in, and you'll find like there's a shanty town built around it.
But it's in fucking Drome, so it's all monsters, and we just teleport in. It's like, fuck! Now we gotta go fireball and shit again. All right. I don't know what time of day it is, so.
What time did he want it to be?
I don't know.
11sies.
Let's just get our night's rest in and head out in the morning or whatever. Let's see. I don't know what the world's span is like, so I don't know if we head out in the morning here, what it's going to be over there.
There's some daylight savings over there as well.
It won't be as extreme as what Brendan experiences out there underneath the earth. But
down under the ground.
But yeah, that is a good call. It'll probably be a bit earlier in the day than what your time is.
That's perfect. So we head out pretty early morning. Over there, it should still be pretty cool.
In fact, Tacitus, since you have the keen mind ability, you would know exactly what the time difference is.
I sure do. And
it's about 5 hours.
It's about 5 hours.
Wow.
What time of year is it? Like, are we doing this? I just don't know. Is it like, are we doing this in the summer, in the winter?
Oh no, it's definitely winter time for you guys right now. It's pretty cold out. At least here, you know that you guys are about to head to a desert, though.
So it's gonna be even colder.
So some warm clothes and maybe the tents are a better idea than I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, longitudinally, it's not that big of a difference, but.
But because
magic, yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Trying to figure out the weather by longitudinal means. Get the fuck out of here.
Listen, I mean, you're 500 miles north of... No, yeah. Yeah, about 500 miles north of me, and just way fucking colder up there than it is down here.
Yeah. Yeah, it actually got really cold today, and it got dark real early compared to normal.
It's pretty chilly down here, but
It's summer. It's 38 degrees Celsius here today.
Yeah, we don't even know what that means.
Okay.
Celsius.
That's
Well,
like
this,
that's like 93, isn't it?
it's really
Yeah.
hot.
It's 38 degrees
It's
is about body
100,
temperature.
100 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, 98.6 is about 37 point something.
Australia,
Okay.
where even the weather
Yeah.
tries to kill you.
We know so little, by the way, that if I didn't realize you were talking about weather, it's latitude are the ones that go
Oh yeah.
around.
Oh, my teacher, the way that you would remember is that because lat, you make a flat mouth
Oh.
with lat.
Yeah.
So you know that those are
that is the mnemonic that definitely helps.
I always mix those two. North, south, whatever.
they're imaginary lines anyways. It doesn't matter.
We just made that shit up.
It's still flat.
He would know. He's right near the edge.
I fall off some days, you know?
He's near that ice wall that surrounds the flat Earth.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I saw an article that said all Australians are just actors. That Australia doesn't actually exist.
No wonder why I'm here.
Is Australia the Truman Show?
Anybody who's actually ever gone there is just pretending.
No one ever
Yeah.
choose to live anywhere like that.
I mean, if you
Spiders
think
as
about
big
it,
as
though,
dinner plates.
right?
Mammals
And-
that can poison you. What?
If you think about it, though, it does kind of sound like fiction, like platypus. You think a platypus is a real animal?
Right. So we're going to the desert.
Yep.
Ivar is now confused, so he is packing summer and winter clothes.
Yeah. What's the weather going to be like in the goddamn forest?
And in the mountains. It'll be completely different.
I assume the mountains are going to be fairly cold. And I don't know how tall they are, but
Just need to get a pair of all weather clothes. Stuff that's breeze, no matter what the weather is.
are we going to fall into a goblin's fucking cave, or what's going? I don't know, man.
So I bought a tent.
I also bought a tent.
And I got a tent and a climber's kit, and you know, I probably want to see if they got a tarp.
That comes with the tent.
Okay, like then I'm good.
Tent, tarp not included.
Oh, it depends if the tent is like a tarp tent. No.
So it's just a set of poles and ropes.
Well, I feel safer.
It's not actually a tent. It's just a lean-to. If you got nothing to lean it on, it's useless. All right.
If we travel at night, I can fly. Of course, then I'm the only one who can see.
I mean, I can prepare to be able to see in the dark, but it's only going to be as far out as you can see. So
Wait, Ivor, how do you fly? Is that with your wind machine thing?
No, one of the random things I found was a cloak of the bat.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's cool.
But it only lets you fly in dim light or darkness, and if you leave dim light or darkness, you lose your flying speed immediately.
I got a spell for that too.
You become a gnome-sized paperweight.
Let's see. Dark vision. What do I got to give up for it?
I might do the same. Change my prepared.
While you guys are thinking about what additions that you're going to be seeking in planning this trip, I'm going to give myself a couple more drinks. I'll still be hearing though, so go ahead.
Damn, he didn't mute himself. No.
He just doesn't want to show us the bottle of Malort.
Ugh, that shit's vile.
Oh man, you had Malort?
Yeah, I've had it before. It tastes like sewer water.
How did you have Malort?
They shipped it over.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's
It's like that. It's like licorice kind of, but sewer water tasting. Oh my god, look at it all. Ugh.
Lisa loves this shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's foul, man.
I think the worst drink I've ever had was. There's a couple of them. The worst beer I've ever had is fucking Natural Light. It's so bad. It's like it's the worst light beer. It's literally like piss water.
You would drink that shit up. You would seek it out if it meant getting out the taste of Malort.
Yeah. And that aftertaste is death.
Oh,
Like,
it doesn't leave you. It stays with you. It's like a curse. It's a real world curse.
Last week we had an all day. I still want to hear about your worst alcohol, Sonny. But last week we had there was an all week long meetings. They had people in from out of town, and like out of country that were coming in, and it was like all managers. So one of the nights there's a function going till 1 a.m. and then we decided to go out to the bars afterwards. And I went out with like the CIO of Canada and a bunch of South Africans and some Colombians. I got them all Malort shots.
oh.
How much did they hate you?
They were not.
How bad of a career move was that?
I just told them it was a rugby tradition. And a Chicago tradition. It was great though. I had fun. I don't think they had fun.
No.
But I was glad to show some hospitality.
The worst liquor I've had, interestingly, is McCormick's vodka. Just because it's like the dirtiest fucking vodka.
I've never heard of McCormick's vodka.
It's fucking terrible.
When it comes to vodka, the worst I've ever had, I think, was called Hawkeye vodka.
Okay.
Yeah, it just tasted like rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, like McCormick's is like, it's like grainy.
Ooh.
Like you feel it. You feel it going through you, and like whenever you sweat, it just feels like you're sweating sand. It's so bad.
It sounds like a retox.
Yeah. A buddy of mine, we were kind of broke, but we wanted to drink, so we bought some McCormick's. We also, it didn't help that we didn't have anything besides Gatorade to chase it down with.
Oh. You fucked up.
So
I mean,
it wasn't like a Gatorade commercial gone wrong.
we figured, you know, alcohol dehydrates, Gatorade rehydrates. It should be fine.
Should have just mixed them. Who knows what superpowers you would have today?
All right. Anything else that your characters are doing before we head out into Rome?
I'm getting a grappling hook as well.
Brain to God.
All right. So, once you guys are all settled, you guys decide you want to leave. Tacitus, I think you have the gem, correct?
No, I don't think so.
I believe Martha.
Martha.
Okay, Martha. So, Martha, you grasp the gem in your hand, and you focus upon the area where the portal last was, and suddenly it begins to glow with energy that spreads through you and to each of your companions, and then suddenly, without any kind of fanfare or any kind of anything, you're suddenly just 1 second there, next second you blink, and you're back in Drome, right next to Elmorn's fantastic tent.
Well, I'm glad we weren't sidetracked to Grey Wall again. Because the last time we magically traveled to Drome, that's where we wound up.
That was because of a mishap, but
Yes, I could do without Grey Wall forever.
What time of day did you guys want it to be? Since Tacitus, you would know very clearly.
I mean, I figured if we leave our place fairly early morning, it'll still be pretty dark here in the desert, which will save us from having to trek through with the sun blazing down on us.
Okay. So yes, it is the night, which is it's a very clear night. Barely a cloud in the sky, maybe a couple of vapor clouds that you see kind of in the distance, quickly going by since they're fairly low altitude clouds. Lots of starlight to guide you, as well as 2 of Eberron's moons clearly in the sky in different phases. So you have some light to guide you, but you instantly know the difference, because even though you're coming from winter in Karnath, it's still early winter. The sudden chill of the desert air is quite stark, especially because it is such a dry chill as well. I feel like that makes a difference. Like you notice like that it really quickly, the mucous membranes in your nose suddenly freeze up, and you're if for any of those of you that have characters with facial hair, you feel the icicles forming around your mouth from the moisture of your breath, and there's a kind of a gentle wind. Other than that, it's completely silent.
We didn't expect it to be like so cold that we needed to get specialized gear, right? To start, cold clothes from back home should work here.
For the most part, yeah. It'll do, especially since it'll be 3 hours until dawn, and then the temperature will quickly change.
And also for now, who knows how cold it gets in those mountains.
Let's see.
So Ivar will do a quick run through of the tent since we're here.
Okay. Anything
marvel at the tent.
Oh, okay. So
the survival shelter
with accompanying oohs and ahs. It's magnificent. It just fills you with so much awe. the construction quality, craftsmanship from materials that have no business being such a part of such a marvelous thing. It really is greater than the sum of its parts.
Martha looks over to Elmorn, and he sees a single tear shed from Elmorn's eye.
Tastus will probably immediately start to ritually cast Phantom Steed. So it'll just take about 11 minutes. We can walk while I chant. It's fine.
All right, so then you guys begin on your way.
And at least since it's dark, Ivar will grip the edges of his cape and just fly along.
Okay.
I turn my sword on, and now I can see.
What does your sword do?
It flames up pretty much.
Like bright light?
Well, like fire.
You might want to fly up high.
So Ivar tumbles to the ground doing like a roll, crashing. The flames from his sword leap up.
Sorry, it was a soft landing. It's all good.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I'm so excited to try out my cloak for the first time.
There'll be other dark places.
I just have to stay outside. I will walk away from Petrie again, as I've done many times.
As he runs after you, saying, "No, don't go too far."
Let the light of the silver flame guide you.
Well, if you fly high enough, it won't bother you.
Right.
So, Ivar, well, when you do finally get aloft after escaping Peach's light from his sword, you scan the horizon, and it's really the more that you're walking away from Mordaine's realm, the more you realize that the land is really flat and devoid of many features. You see a couple of maybe sand dunes in the distance, but where you guys are right now, it's just a flat, endless expanse. Occasionally, you'll see like what looks to be some small, shrew-like creature or something coming up from the sand burrows or hunting along the desert ground, but not too much other than that.
Like normal shrew-sized creatures, or
yes, not like dire shrews. Look yourself, create dire shrew. I have actually thrown dire platypi at players before.
I believe the term is platypussies.
The direst of platypussies. Ivar, I am going to send you something though.
the scariest platypus in D&D, the Thought Eater.
That's terrifying.
All right, so you guys are walking along. Tacitus, your phantom steed is up. You guys are moving at a good trek, especially with not having been slowed down for Ivar.
I'll also then cast dark vision on myself so I can see a little bit.
Okay. So
Since
that
my
definitely,
steed is super fast, I'll kind of like circle it around the group, keeping an eye out as best I can.
Okay, so kind of like, almost like scouting ahead a bit.
Ish. Or just keeping an eye out around.
So can I just ask this thing that I see, is it in the direction we're going?
Off to the side. So not directly where you're going. No.
And it's it's a distance away, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then Ivar won't react to that for now.
What does the air smell like?
Burning. No, it smells like really dry but fresh air. It's actually quite exhilarating almost. But it is very cold, and so if you breathe in too deeply or too sharply, it does hurt your lungs.
Okay.
Need to make some sort of air warming device.
Some sort of space heater, if you will.
And something that might add some moisture to the air.
Some sort of heating, humidifying device.
All
Which
right.
I will do after I do something about this terrible grappling hook that I bought that doesn't even fire itself.
The manual grappling hook. What the hell?
So you guys are trekking along. It's pretty uneventful. Dawn starts to break.
Then I will land.
And then it very quickly gets very hot. The temperature change is pretty quick and drastic. And so moments before you were chill, freezing, even through your cold Carnathy garments meant for winter, but now it's just getting hotter and hotter. You've been sweating profusely. You got the sweat going, which is making it difficult to walk. The sand is heating up, and you can feel it beginning to start to feel the heat even through the soles of your shoes.
Do we see like any do we see any kind of places with shade or large boulders or trees?
None of that. It's just a nearly flat expanse of just endless sand.
Well, there is an oasis over there in the distance, though. We should go over there, guys.
It's just a mirage. Keep walking.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, by the way, off in the distance, I think I saw some huge monster with red eyes. And I keep walking. Glowing red eyes.
Wait, what?
While we were moving through the night, like way off at the horizon, there was some creature.
How long ago was this exactly?
Like an hour. And when I looked directly at it, I didn't see it anymore. So it either vanished or I was seeing something else.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be fine.
All right, so, looking at your guys' inventories, Ivar, I see water skin. Martha, you have the good berry wine. Petrie, you got some rations and a water skin. So how are you guys rationing your water? Because it's starting to get really hot. You're feeling you're quickly dehydrating throughout the day.
Well,
There
is no oasis.
Create water. It's like 7 paladins in this group.
Oh, Tony, I already got yours up.
Oh, okay, cool.
I saved it.
All right. I got a bunch of water skins, so.
So do I.
Each water skin holds 4 pints. I've got 10 of them.
See, this is where, like, I have 5 water skins, but it's like I never really know what is the gnome-sized equipment and what isn't. So these may be 5 gnome-sized water skins.
I mean, that would make sense, for like the weight rate,
Right, like they don't have like small-sized clothes or shields or anything like that. So it's just you just sort of hand wave that away.
Water skin is a water skin. Just like $1 is $1. Yeah, that's fine. So, but you guys are probably with this heat, you're probably going to go through at least 1 water skin a day each, and that's going to be just enough to keep you going.
How much desert is there?
Huh?
How much desert is there?
Well, let's look at the map. Map. All right, where's that scale? Oof. It's a good like being generous 100 miles to the Bieshk Mountains.
Oh,
That's not so bad.
Only we brought the Elytrix. Could have put sand tires on it and rode it up and down these dunes.
oh boy.
It would be good to have that session where we get to break the news to Colmar that the Elytrix got stuck in the sand. So, yeah, it's gone.
Some red-eyed creature just destroyed it,
So
for now, we should ration the water that we have, and maybe hold off on drinking the Goodberry wine for a while. Everybody will get 1 a day, 1 water skin a day, that is. I have 5.
I have 10.
I have none.
I have 1, and there's an oasis over there, so we should go over there.
No oasis.
We've only been in the heat for like an hour.
No need to panic about it now.
And
then we just Then we gather whatever frost accumulates on our beards whenever.
By the way, did you guys stop to change clothes?
Oh, Ivar would have.
Still wearing-
I brought cold and warm weather clothes for a reason.
I mean, I'm wearing fucking armor, so I just take off the thick stuff.
Martha would be like taking clothes off, and like he would try to like wrap stuff around his head.
Okay, so you're shedding layers. Petrie is in the unfortunate position where he's wearing full plate mail and he can't take it off.
So I'm just cooking.
So everybody give me a Constitution saving throw. Tacitus and Petrie, you guys have disadvantage.
That's an action point.
Constitution disadvantage.
That's an action point for me too.
I'm gonna go ahead and action point just in case.
Ooh, me too.
I got a 16.
Can I get a sense of the difficulty? Like, is it like an accumulative thing?
It is. It is an
It starts off all right, and it gets harder and harder.
Yeah, you're chugging along. It's pretty difficult, but you could probably push through it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just use one action point.
Yeah, I got a 17 on my one action point.
So far everyone's fine.
I will at least give Petrie my umbrella hat
Oh, that's nice of you.
to keep the sun off his armor so he doesn't cook like a piece of meat in an oven.
Now the question is, does it fit? Because he's also, as part of full plate mail, he's also wearing a helm. So not only is his head naturally bigger than you, he's also wearing that helmet.
I feel like I can whip up something to keep it pinned to his head.
Like magnets.
Or like even just like some rope.
Yeah, just go ahead and give me a tinker's check.
Yeah, advantage. What would the stat be?
We'll go with intelligence.
Then it's a 21.
Oh yeah, you whip up something real nice. It does keep some of the shade off, but so it at least your head, though it feels heavier, it's slightly cooler. The rest of your body is still drenched in sweat, though.
Yeah, it is a black armor as well, so
Yeah, that's true as well.
yeah.
There's also the glimmer of like remaining little slivers of glass that are all embedded.
So it was made for the heat.
Exactly. All right, so everybody's fine. Everybody passed. So then you guys are trucking along. Everybody. No, not everybody. Martha, roll me d12.
That's a 12.
Oof. Okay. So,
Boys, what I want to hear from the DM is oof.
Oh boy, do I envy you.
all right. Tacitus, roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, that's That's my best stat.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's fun. So the decision I have to make is, do I want to use another action point here?
You are on your Phantom Steed, I assume.
I have to. Yeah, I mean, I would ritually cast it as I know the steed is coming to an end soon. I just have to keep casting it. It only lasts an hour. Fuck it. I'll just take whatever is happening to me. Natural 1.
Roll again.
Oh no, I don't wanna.
Roll again.
8.
Roll a d100.
Listen, I laid out specific instances where I said it was okay for my character to die.
This wasn't one of them.
41.
Nice. Okay. Wait a minute. That's already double mixed damage. So then, all right. So you take a step. Well, your Phantom Steed takes a step.
Sure.
And within the blink of an eye, so fast that everybody around you is just like taken aback. He's probably 10 feet in length, shoot up like and snap on you, and
Is it too late to change my mind?
you get caught in these massive jaws and lifted up in the air as this giant one of those giant worm things with the clamp jaws
Oh.
comes up and grabs you. So
I thought we were playing Eberron.
Yeah, dude.
This is desert, dude. This is universal fantasy desert.
Yeah.
So you are lifted up in the air. You take 50 damage.
Sure.
Sure.
And you are completely immobile. You can't move at all. Your arms, your legs, you're absolutely kind of stunned by what has happened, and the thing is whipping you back and forth. So there's definitely going to be some whiplash damage there at some point.
Can I see?
You can see, yes.
Let's see here. Oh, it's only verbal. Perfect. I thunderstep the fuck out of that. 50 damage. I only have 80 HP.
Immobilized. Yeah, you could do that. But you're going to have to roll initiative first. Everybody go.
Oh boy.
What is this bullshit? I'm using a luck.
I got 23.
What the fuck?
Well, I'm lucky I didn't get this. I got 0. So I'm happy that wasn't my deck save.
I got a 10. 10 initiative. And I had to use luck to get a 10.
I got a 3.
This thing got a 4. All right, so Ivor, how do you react to this situation?
How far am I from where this happens?
You're like 10 feet away. Everybody's like real close together. You're all like 10, 15 feet of this.
So right now, Tacitus is basically like still in its mouth, like poking out.
Yeah, in the air. Yeah.
His Phantom Steed just mangled.
I don't think the Phantom Steed can be hit. It's just kind of like floating. Like it got knocked off to the side and it's just.
I like to imagine. You guys ever see the Final Fantasy movie, The Spirits Within?
Mm-hmm.
I like to think of it when one of those monster spirits eats one of the human spirits, and
it just kind of like passes through.
and then you see like the veins and stuff like slow corruption until it turns into the same kind of energy and just kind of vanishes into the thing. That's what I imagine.
So what you're saying is my steed just killed the worm.
No, the opposite.
No. The steed is Phantom, not the worm.
Right, but they're both the same thing in this metaphor.
I call bullshit.
So Ivar would seeing this back up a bit, like 20 feet, so that he can get a better angle on this shot. And then he's going to fire one of his Colmar arrows like right at its mouth, so that grease spreads around Tacitus and down into its gullet, so that maybe Tacitus, because I don't know, he's going to thunderstep away, so maybe Tacitus can struggle free in the slippery grease.
All right, that works. Give me a attack roll.
25.
All right, that's a hit. Do the Colmar arrows do any damage?
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, grease is everywhere. It explodes right in Tacitus's face, and you're just like covered in this viscous, slippery goo. Smells like Colmar though.
There's a time and a place. What the
hell? Your turn, Tacitus.
My Big 10 got me second place. All right. Yep. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah. So wait a minute. I just want to point out, Ivar, you got like a 20-something on your initiative. Next one down was 10.
Apparently, we just lack initiative.
Yeah. Thunder step that bitch out. I'm gonna bump it up to 4th level, so it does a little bit more damage.
Okay.
It has to make a con save, but I'm like in its gullet, so it has to fail that shit, right?
You don't know if it's resistant to the damage you're dealing. It might just be really tough.
It's thundery whiplash damage.
You know what? I'll give you the benefit of it. He'll have disadvantage on his roll.
Nice.
It's a good thing he had disadvantage because the second roll was a 2, not natural. So yeah, go ahead and hurt it.
All right, there we go. Oh, that is fucking massive. Okay, give me a second here, because I'm gonna add something on I haven't had a chance to do yet. I'm gonna add on a little power surge damage. So total is 42 thunder damage.
Ooh.
I rolled 4 d10s. I rolled 3 10s and an 8.
Nice.
And then I added on an additional 4 for my power surge.
All right. So, yeah, you thunder step away. There's a huge boom. Like you can, in fact, it's so large you can kind of see a visible shockwave go out into the distance. Everybody that's standing in the vicinity, you kind of feel it in your chest, like a really deep boom. And then Tacitus, you appear where?
behind my allies, a little ways out.
All right, so you're still covered in the grease, and then everybody else sees the monster just kind of ripple from the reverberations of the shockwave, and you see it kind of go a little crazy, and then it shoots back into the sand, clearly not expecting this kind of resistance.
Cool. Bye. Thanks for your damage. Come again.
I mean, with no places to hide or places to run to or shelter.
We're still fucking like, I don't know, 90 miles away. We're followed by a fucking worm. See, the Oasis is the best place to go, guys. Let's go.
It's a damn mirage. We're not going there.
Guaranteed there's no worms there.
So Tacitus, how are you feeling after that?
Irritated. Just wondering, why me?
The dice rolled it. I rolled a d4 to figure out who to hit.
Tacitus would start racking his brain for what the fuck that was, so he knows how to fucking avoid it in the future.
Yeah, none of you guys have ever seen or heard of anything like that before, but it's not uncommon since Drome.
So are those things like smart? Like, will it come back or will it run away because it's just a worm?
So bring friends.
So, yeah, so far you don't. Once it like schlooped back into the sand, you haven't noticed any disturbances in the sand. You're not feeling any kind of vibrations or anything. But then again, sand is a really good insulator, so you wouldn't necessarily feel any vibrations.
This doesn't make any sense. Presumably it knew we were there. How would it know we were there unless it felt the vibrations of our feet?
Yeah.
Well,
Of course, it shouldn't have felt my feet, since I was on a phantom steed with no hooves.
Maybe it has a heat sense too.
It senses low
Heat sense in
dexterity
the
saves.
desert.
Yeah, heat sense in the goddamn desert. Blinded by the sun.
Well, staying here is not going to make us any safer, so I guess we should keep moving.
Yes.
Ultimately, you just can blame Dustin for rolling the 12.
It's almost like they just attack by chance, just blindly.
So everybody, give me Constitution saves. You've had like 6 hours that have passed since the last one.
Can I get some heals? I clearly got mangled by that fucking worm.
Yeah, you're kind of
Walk with a bit of a limp, I think.
Yeah, you have some puncture wounds, maybe a couple of sprains from that whiplash damage.
Yeah, nice. I'll drop a cure wounds on him.
I got a 15 on my Constitution save.
I'm still going with disadvantage here.
Oh yeah, and Petrie, you still have disadvantage as well, but
Yeah.
you have a +1.
Oh, do I? Oh, that's good, because I got a 13 then, not a 12.
I have a 20, not natural.
Alright.
I got rid of my cursed die.
Nice.
7, so okay.
And then
Did you actually like throw the cursed die away, or?
I just picked a different one this time because I rolled like 3 or 4 bad rolls in a row.
Jesus, cocksucker.
So Dice Dojo actually accepts like dice, and they have a whole cabinet of dice that have been donated because people are trying to get rid of them because they're cursed.
Yeah, I think I bought one of them. It didn't help.
The Tacitus, what was your Constitution save?
I'm using another goddamn action point.
I would like to think that somewhere there's just a cursed die sitting in the bottom of the Chattanooga Aquarium.
It probably is. That's probably what gives it its special powers.
19.
All right.
Much fucking better. What was that? What was that? Cure wounds?
Hang on, yeah. I dropped 2 first level spells, so it's probably it dropped 42.
42.
First level spells?
Yeah, I think I could do that right. Yeah, because I add that, then I add my spell casting modifier, and then I add my blessed healer ability.
42 HP.
Wait,
Let me just because I got 21, so 7 plus 7, 14. And then the 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, so no, it's 34. Sorry, 34.
34.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, because if it's a first level spell, it's 1d8
Yep.
plus your spellcasting
Spellcasting,
bonus, and then Blessed Healer only gives you an additional 3.
Yeah. So I rolled a 7. So I rolled a 7 from the d8, and then I add my spell coding modifier, which is another 7. So that's 14, and then plus 3.
How is your spellcasting modifier 7?
It says 7. It's like bonus 7.
I think you're looking at the wrong thing.
I think you're adding your spellcasting modifier and your proficiency bonus, probably.
Oh, then it's 5.
Well, your proficiency bonus should be 4.
Well, yeah. So, and your wisdom is only a plus 3.
Right, which is why. So that makes sense. Your spellcasting bonus is your wisdom modifier because that's your spellcasting stat. So it's plus 3. Your
10.
Your attack bonus, spell attack bonus is plus 7.
So roll the 7. I get plus 3, so that's 10. And then you add another 2 because the thingy. So that's 12. And then do that twice, so that's 24.
Wait, are you figuring max? You're rolling max?
No, I rolled 7. I rolled 7 twice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And you got 14 there. So plus the 3, so 20, and then plus the additional 3 for each of them, so 26 is what you healed.
Cool.
Right? Because it's
Rolled somewhere around there.
oh, it's 1d8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So 24 then?
26.
26.
So, Peter, what does it look like when you cast that spell on Tacitus?
Well, there's like this silver flame, and then I'm like, oh, it's too hot. So I'm like shaking my hand a little. And then I just like shove my hand onto him, and like this blue, like the blue veins sort of just spread out into his body. And it feels really warm. And I say, I'm sorry.
Careful with those clawed fingers of yours.
Yeah, with my black fingers, yeah. So sorry if I scratched you as well.
I feel like we need to get a Bane mask for Brendan so that he can adequately portray Petrie wearing this helmet.
Whereas I was thinking your cure wounds might sound like, or might seem like you're standing there doing a lot of arithmetic in your head and then getting it wrong and doing it
Yeah,
again.
that sounds about right. Yeah. That too. Yeah.
All right. So you guys going through. It's been another couple of hours. So it's getting dark. Sun is starting to go down. It's starting to cool off a little bit.
I will stop and change my clothes again.
So as Ivar is doing that, is anybody else doing anything?
I just keep pointing over at the oasis. That's it. It's like, we could go over there, guys. Come on.
Martha is just not really talking. He's just trying to like conserve his energy and all the water.
I mean, it might make some sense to just hide out in the tents during the day and move at night.
I don't know. The tents can get very hot.
Kurt sent you something.
But it's worth trying at least once. If we could find some shade or something, anything, even like a large boulder would be helpful.
And Ivar will then, like, his head sort of darts to the side and he looks back and he said, there it was again, at the horizon. 2 red eyes. But it's gone now.
On the horizon. Is it near the oasis? And I'm pointing the opposite direction.
Without even looking where you're pointing, it's nowhere near the oasis. It's still a distance away. I don't know if it's an immediate threat.
Well, nobody else sees it, right? Or
No.
saw it.
If Ivar ever points to where he saw it, nobody sees anything there.
And if Ivar doesn't point to it, nobody sees it. But at the very least, this is a development worth reporting. So I take out my rock and explain to the rock that we're walking through the deserts of Drome to make it to the Eldeen Reaches to investigate the plagues. And that I believe I've seen a creature in the far distance with 2 red eyes, 2 glowing red eyes that may be following us because we've moved a 1 full day and it's still there. Or I may be suffering heat stroke.
Both are very. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I said, well, I haven't heard of any lichens out in the desert, so I think we're good in that department.
Well, the thing is, I assume, and Mike can correct me if I'm wrong, but the thing is, because it's way off, like at the horizon, I assume this thing must be huge. Because I'm not seeing like every creature that far away.
Oh boy.
So do we want to keep moving through the cold, or do we want to actually try to rest? I mean, I would say if we keep moving through the cold, at least that activity will help to keep us warm.
Yeah.
If we lay down, that's just going to make us even colder. But maybe the tents will trap enough heat to offset that.
Just
Oh,
get out of this damn desert.
I think it'd be smarter to move tonight and then sleep during the day if possible.
I think that's probably the smart thing too.
It'll be hot, but we
Well-
can at least have shade.
I can fly around at least and maybe see things, although I can only see a certain distance at night in the dark. The rest of you can huddle around the flaming sword. That should provide some heat. I mean, it also, by the way, makes you the only source of fire in the flat desert.
This is true.
So I would grip the edges of my cloak again, run away from Petrie, using my bonus action dash if he's chasing me down. And then fly high enough that maybe I can see something along the horizon as we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep periodically when I think maybe it doesn't think I'm looking. I will snap my head back in the direction where I saw that creature.
So far, nothing. You guys notice as a bit of time passes, so you guys are continuing on in the dark. And Petrie, you got your sword out?
Yeah.
All right. So there is... So far, it's been relatively silent, minus, the slight breezes that have passed around, and also that calamitous issue with the worm thing. But now, all of a sudden, piercing through the darkness, you hear a...
And Petrie would just start running in that direction. It's those damn lichens.
Wait, Petrie, don't. Yeah, he's gone. Nothing they can do to stop him.
Stop. Please don't. Really, seriously, stop.
Yeah.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Hey, like it through their voices. It could be in the opposite direction.
So the flat desert, it creates an interesting acoustic effect where you kind of hear the howl, but it's hard to pinpoint where it's coming from. It almost feels like it's coming from every single direction. So which direction are you running in, Petrie?
Well, I guess he'd like start running towards where he first thought, and then he'd like turn, and you just see him start running a circle around the group because he just doesn't know where it is. But he would then realize he'd be like, I don't know, and then just start slowly walking back towards the group. So no direction. I just give up because I couldn't figure it out.
Okay. So is Petrie pouting now?
Yeah.
So Ivar, despite you using your dark vision to the best of your ability and everything, you still don't see anything out in the distance. The night sky is a little bit darker than it was the night before, so it's a little bit more difficult to see out to those same distances that you had been previously.
Press forward then.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever.
Just wait for one of them to be eaten by a worm, I guess, or werewolves.
I mean, it attacked us. You know, maybe it'll
That's
attack
true.
them.
Maybe we'll get lucky, right? Maybe
Yeah.
we'll get lucky and the purple worms will eat the werewolves. And then a lycanthrope purple worm will come kill us.
So as you guys are moving on in the night, you hear the howls a couple more times. Sometimes they seem closer, other times they see a bit farther. Still difficult to detect exactly what direction they're coming from.
I think every time Petrie would hear them, he'd just start running towards whatever direction he heard them from. And then not find them and then skulk back to the group. Unless they were close enough and he did find them and then he'd bash them.
And Ivar thinks, I'm going to laugh so hard if he winds up becoming a werewolf.
His ultimate destiny.
Martha, go ahead.
I was just going to say, he may be high enough level that he's actually immune from it, but it would be funny.
And Martha, what are your thoughts about this whole situation?
At this point I've dealt with, Petrie's, nothing really surprises me anymore. So it's just kind of just keep walking and then he'll come back and then come back out again. So I almost think of it as kind of like when you have a dog that's just really excited, it just keeps running around you and you're just walking anyway.
What about the howls? Is it unnerving to Petrie or Ivar? Clearly it's affecting, clearly it's affecting Petrie, but Martha or Ivar?
I don't think Ivar would assume that he wouldn't assume it's a lichen. He would understand why Petrie assumes that, but he would assume it's some desert animal. It could be a lichen. But if it is a lichen, then he's probably going to blame Petrie for it being a lichen, because clearly this would not be our encounter, but for the obsession. Plus, I'm at least 40 feet up. So I'm gonna go after all those guys.
That is true.
I didn't realize how bright my sword was either. So it's bright light for 40 feet, and it's dim light for another 40 feet after that. So it's a bright sword.
Oh my God, it's brighter than a lantern.
It's
brighter than a torch.
Sword lantern.
There is a lantern sword. Maybe that's what it is. So I'm a little higher than 40 feet then. So that if he randomly runs under me, I don't fall within his cone. And then fall onto his sword.
All right. So you guys continue on throughout the night. At this point, everybody give me a Constitution saving throw, because you guys have been pretty much walking for a good day straight, it seems like, with little breaks.
My disadvantage for this one?
Yeah, because that armor's heavy.
I'm going to use an action point.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same.
I'm also going to use an action point.
Wow.
Yeah, who knew the secret to getting us to spend all our action points was just weather. One thing the Mornlands taught us is that we hate weather.
Yes.
I got a 17.
So 20 not natural.
Right.
Well, it was a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
All right, I got 16.
Okay.
Not natural.
All right, you guys are good then.
I was mistaken, by the way. It's not a lantern sword. I was thinking of a lantern shield.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna roll for Tacitus real quick. For that. He passed.
I think I got to duck out soon. I'm fading fast.
Yeah, you're looking like it, man.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you were gonna go owlbear.
I'm not far away, man.
I think that's what happened to Tony. He wandered off and just passed out.
Yeah, hopping time zones, and I had to get up early for an early flight.
Oof.
Yeah, we got an email from Arno. I think he's in Colorado right now.
Yeah, he probably wanted to get some weed.
I mean,
It's legalized now.
reason.
It's semi-legalized. It's legalized for state law purposes, but illegal for federal law purposes.
It's also like you could smoke weed but still like not get a job because the lawyer doesn't tolerate drugs.
I get you.
It's so dumb. Dustin, are you cool with us going on a little bit longer without it?
Yes. Don't let me stop the fun.
Now it's a D3 whenever the sandworm attacks.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Take care.
See you, man.
Just walk behind Marthal for purposes of sandworm attacks.
Is Tony like trying to put his kid to sleep again, or?
I don't know. All I got
say
was
anything.
be right back.
Yeah.
That was it.
Maybe he's just destroying his toilet. All right. So yeah, you guys. It gets to as the dawn starts to break, you guys stop hearing the howls coming so often. But they were fairly frequent. Now they're getting less and less frequent, and the ones that you do hear seem to be more and more distant.
So when the sun was up, like how far could we see? Like, I'm just wondering, like, where I was imagining it being pretty flat with like an occasional bump. So we didn't see anything that close to us when it was still light out. Just wondering where the howls were really coming from. I mean, I know you said 2 moons were up, so it could be lichens, or that could be wolves or coyotes or something like that.
So the 2 moons that were up, they were not full moons either. So I mentioned that they were in different phases, waxing and waning. I don't know if I said those words, but yeah, they're not full moons.
And then this night was darker, so presumably the moons weren't out or were less full.
Right. Yeah. And then so yeah, but you guys were hearing the howls, and during the day you can see out pretty far, but also there's that mirage effect that kind of limits the distance that you can see as well, as things start to get distorted beyond a certain amount.
So the plan was that we camp out during the day, hiding in the tents, so that we can walk at night when it's nice and chilly, and hopefully we use less water this way. So,
Smart way of doing it.
perfect time for a long rest.
All right. Each of you subtract a day's rations and one water skin.
Water skin.
And then it does not appear that Marthau has any water skins or any rations. So is there anybody that wants to share with him?
I will. But he's probably got like a sweet, like extra special climber's kit. It's like all top of the line stuff that only professional climbers ever use. But no water or food.
Oh yeah, priorities, man.
I mean, we still have bottles of Goodberry wine. So worst comes to worst.
All right, so
And as it is, Tacitus may want to knock one of those back to get the rest of his hit points back.
all right, so you guys set up your tents to sleep.
I will definitely, as quick as I can, duck into Tacitus's tent, and then tell Petrie. Well, it's a 2-man tent, so you're gonna have to go with Marthau. Because I know you don't bathe because you can't get out of that armor.
Yeah, I'm trying so hard to scratch my nuts at the moment as well.
Right. And since you can't even get at your nuts to scratch, I know you're just peeing in that armor. And worse.
Well, you're not wrong. Oh, man.
All right. So, you guys, once you guys start getting to sleep, both of you roll me, or sorry, what?
I was gonna say I will assume that with like the 4 of us here, we will set watches. So, but I will volunteer to take the first watch.
Okay. So what does that look like when you're taking the watch?
During the watch, I would not be in the tent. I would be outside, staring off into the distance. Like ideally, at this point, I mean, if there's a dune we could camp next to, that would probably be best. That's a little bit of shade for a little bit of time, but it also would then give me like a place to sort of lay down in the sand, like dig a little pit, so that I can peer over the edge of the dune, and as I'm looking around.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no features like that.
Okay.
It's pretty flat.
Then I would just be standing next to the tents.
Okay.
Periodically looking around.
Give me a perception check.
What is my perception? 21.
Okay. So at one point, gazing on the horizon, you see that figure again. But once again,
Still at the horizon. So there's nothing familiar about this figure?
Actually, this time it appears closer. And yet it still seems to vanish when you try to focus in on it, or like when you're like, wait, what? You do that double take, and then that span, it seems to disappear.
So I will say aloud, assume they can hear me inside the tents. I saw that thing again, but I may be the only one who could see it. So it may be gnome only.
Sorry, hold on.
What is that? It's kind of a rave. Yeah.
Making margaritas. So we heard I don't know when you left exactly, but we heard a bunch of howling in the night, which sent Petrie running in every direction because he couldn't pinpoint where the sound was coming from. But we didn't actually get attacked. And we decided that it might make more sense. We pushed on through the night and decided to camp during the day. So hopefully we're using less water this way because most of us can hide out in the tent and one of us can keep watch. So right now Ivar's keeping watch and he saw his little red-eyed monster in the distance again, although this time closer apparently.
Fun. Yeah, I had left right after we had gotten. We was able to deter the fucking worm that tried to eat me.
And we all had to deduct one ration and one water skin. Except that I had to lend rations and water skins to Martha, who didn't bring any.
Okay.
For his desert trek, he decided to leave the food and water at home.
Okay. That's fine then. We'll do that. And I was looking up the travel distances and such. At a fast pace, we can cover about 30 miles a day. That includes the penalties to our passive perceptions.
How about 30 miles a night? Can we do that?
Sure.
Yes, sweet.
In a travel time, yeah.
In order to do that, you're going to be using double your rations and water because you're going to be working that much harder.
Can we just summon more horses? Can we get Elmon's horse, Phantom Steed, and summon the Elatrix? The Phantom Elatrix, and we just all go.
Odd.
All right. Yeah, man. At this point, maybe
we
will find werewolves, and Colmar can just raise them as zombies, and they can carry us.
You just gave me an idea. I'm gonna develop a new spell called the Phantom Elatrix. Perfect. I'll do it. I'll put the time in.
That will be a glorious spell. I'm sure Colmar will still criticize it as not getting it right.
Well, it'll be phantom, so not greasy enough. For one.
It'll be totally silent.
See this? Needs more grease. All right. So Ivar, you said that disturbing the sleep for everybody about the thing that you saw.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't scream it at them. If they were asleep, I don't know if they would have woken up. But if they were awake, they would have heard me.
Want them to wake up? Because
not necessarily. It's still far enough away that I don't know. It hasn't attacked us so far. So I'm not that worried about it that I'm going to wake everyone up.
Okay. All right. So then that you do your shift and then things are okay. Who's next?
I'll go.
Be on the lookout for glowing red-eyed monsters in the distance that disappear when you look at them.
Yeah, absolutely. Where did you see this? Which direction?
I will point.
And is this the same direction as before?
Was it the same direction?
General, sure. Not exactly, but in that general scheme.
I mean, obviously, there's this whole cone of north, the whole cone of east. Is it in the cone of east, or
It would have been the cone of east or west.
Yeah.
in the same cardinal direction, roughly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eastish.
I expect it to travel too, so I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be in the exact same spot, but so we're camping in the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You saw this thing at night, or at night?
I saw it
last
at
time?
night at first, and then this time I saw it again.
Or sort of early morning, I guess. But
Yep.
All right. All right.
All right. So, Tacitus, on your watch, give me perception check.
Sure. Shit. Perception. Why have I not made myself proficient in this? 11.
That's actually good enough because it's kind of hard to miss what you're about to see.
Is it a goddamn worm?
No.
Comes up from
I beg
beneath
to
you.
differ.
As you peer out into the distance, a worm's mouth closes over the top of you, but you manage to see it as it does so.
Yeah. This time I see it happen. I still can't get out of the way, but I see it.
No, you see off in the distance, coming from the north. Sorry, not the north, the south. A massive wall.
What?
To the north?
No, to the south.
To the south. Okay.
Yeah.
To the south, there's a wall.
Yeah,
How long?
horizon to horizon.
Is it stationary at least?
You look at it longer, it's getting closer.
What the fuck kind of bullshit is this? I just kind of like, guys. Hey guys, you might want to look at this.
Is
I'll
it
start
like
kind of nudging people.
Is it how far away from him is this wall?
At the moment, probably about 5 miles, but quickly closing the gap.
All right, Ivar won't be mad then that you just woke him up.
Whatever the hell this wall is, it's getting closer.
Well, it's moving too fast for us to outrun it, so I guess
I'm assuming they see it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, do we see it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we see it moving?
does it look to be like a stone wall? Can we tell what it's made of?
As it gets closer, you can see that it billows.
Like a curtain?
No. More like a cloud.
So like a sandstorm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Quick,
Okay.
Elmore, make us a fantastic shelter.
Just like before.
just do that again.
Oh,
Same exact
dude,
thing.
that's
Made out of sand.
we got it. we just solved our own problem. This reminded me. We'll just take the fucking amulet back. It was hit by Dawn's light since it was last used. We can fucking just bamf the fuck out of here. Go away for a day. Come back.
That is a good idea. Rather than be in the sandstorm.
Yeah. Fuck this shit. Let's exploit the shit out of this.
Create a save point here.
Yeah. Pack up our shit. Hurry up. Come on, let's do this.
Come on, Martha. You need to buy rations and water skins anyway.
I was wondering when you guys were going to remember that.
I like to imagine right now Elmorn is, halfway through creating a fantastic shelter.
Exactly. we need it for the motivation is what's happening here.
So this sandstorm, though, it's coming too quickly for you to pack everything up.
I call bullshit.
We can get more tents.
Yeah, sure.
You can certainly get most of the stuff, but if it's not actually physically on your person, it's not going to come with. And you guys have all been sleeping. I imagine you're not sleeping wearing your packs and all that stuff in your tent.
I'm sleeping with my armor on, so
Yeah,
I'm good.
no choice though.
I mean, it will take me a minute to put my armor on.
You can buy more of that as well.
My armor is never being left. But I presume I probably would have kind of mostly put it on at least for a watch, so I can gather up the other pieces and some of my other shit.
Yeah, you would probably be fairly ready since you were on watch. Ivar and Petrie Petrie, you would need to grab some stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely these tents are going to be left because you don't have enough time to put them away.
Yeah. Okay, let's grab our shit and get out of here.
So mad at myself. I didn't use this. I didn't pick up this spell, but whatever.
We're only 30 miles away from where the portal originally was anyway, so.
No, we traveled on, right?
Well, it's only been one day that we've been traveling at night, so.
Right, you guys
we traveled through the day, and then through the night, right?
We've probably been traveling about like 20 hours.
Yeah.
Because I had a watch. We went like 8 hours during the day last time, and then some portion, however long the night is, and then my watch ended as you guys tried to sleep in the extreme heat.
Yeah, and actually, everybody give me Constitution saving throw. Petrie and Tacitus at disadvantage.
19.
Hell yeah. That's 14.
14 as well.
All right. You guys are fine. All right, so you guys gather what you can, and then suddenly you appear in the Handsome Mansion. Just as the sandstorm was about to come through.
I mean, after the Moorlands, you really got to say that was kind of pleasant.
Yeah. That's true. I do have some sand in my cracks, but it's all good.
Yeah, you
This is
could
not
get that out.
glass.
You get the sand out when you take the armor off.
Exactly.
Oh.
At least whatever sand like wound up in your like metal boot, that'll come out when you take that off.
So
Or you can like stand on your head and
It's the
shake.
worst armor.
I think I'm gonna go with like a
How the hell do you piss and shit?
Oh, you
Yeah,
missed-
yeah.
Or like a latch.
I said I specifically Ivar dived into your tent and then told Petrie that he was aware that Petrie hasn't bathed since he put that armor on, and that he has to be pissing in there because he complained that he can't even scratch his nuts. So
yeah,
that's basically canon now. Because Mike and I had discussed this before, and there was talk of maybe there being some sort of like movable flap front and back, but not anymore.
Of course.
Or maybe there is, and you just haven't been using it. Like you can detach the cod piece, but why bother?
All right, so you guys are greeted by Baba. Oh, is you back so soon?
We're all sweaty and gross. Yeah, it's kind of horrible there. So we decided to come back and rest here and then go back.
Yeah.
Is good plan. The bath is ready for, well, either one of you could use it.
Oh, that's good. I'll just jump in.
Not you.
Yeah.
You cannot use it until you take armor off. Armor must be clean and tidied.
Also, we've established what you do in that armor. You don't go first.
Oh.
Here, I will help one time. And he touches you, and he uses prestidigitation to unsully as much as that magic will allow.
Maybe you should take like just one level of sorcerer so you can get prestidigitation.
Well, I do have thaumaturgy, so I can shake the poo out.
That just makes it frothy.
Oh, gross.
So Ivar will go down and get a bath.
Okay. So you guys are living it up, life of luxury.
I mean, I assume we're going back tonight, right? But we should go into town and get before we go back. Yeah, we should go get Moth out some rations.
Double down on some water skins, yeah.
Tony, we can't hear you.
And maybe a cheap horse that we could let die.
We have that Kevin McAllister moment where we just figure out, oh, we left Marth out.
Elmo's still building his shelter. Marthel had, I don't know what the device is that lets us come back here, but he's the one who has it. So presumably he came.
Right.
But Komar and Elmorn, we don't know where they are.
Alrighty. Well, just finish up our rest here, I think.
Yep.
Gladly, I'd like to get my hit points back.
All right, so you guys do your rest.
Is our long rest interrupted?
No, not here in the handsome mansion. Occasionally, you hear the cry and whimper of Charles as he comes to accept his new reality.
Yes, I'm gonna buy a bunch of water skins, a bunch of rations. We've got like 10. Let's buy 10 water skins.
10 water skins.
That's what I had.
And let's buy 11 more rations. And
It must be nice. If I didn't have a magic backpack, I would not carry as much crap as I carry. 72 pounds of water and food is a little much.
I luckily have a pretty decent strength, so I'm not actually encumbered. Let's see.
All right, so what do you guys do in determining when and how to go back? Like, what is it? What after resting? Is there anything else that you guys are needing to do outside of purchasing some more rations and supplies, perhaps?
Nope.
No, I think we got a good system. We just do this from now on. Travel for as long as we can manage, and just come back here and rest.
Yeah, that's actually the funniest part about buying 72 pounds worth of water and food is we're just going to
we
come
can
back
just
here anyway.
teleport back.
Yeah, we're just going to get dinner here. So
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it here then.
even better, you take the Elatrix into town, buy 72 pounds of water and food, and then leave it in the handsome mansion. It's just going to come back.
Like,
We do have to be cautious because it recharges after hitting dawn.
Yeah. It's take 2 water skins with you.
Alrighty, let's do this. We got
back into
this.
the desert.
We got a system down.
It would probably be worth it to buy 2 more tents in case there's another storm, and we can't get back in time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know of any special equipment that would be used to protect oneself during a sandstorm.
Robes, towel head.
I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is that scene in that one movie,
The Mummy?
The Rock. No, not the Mummy, but it was derived from the Mummy.
He was in the Mummy, though.
The Scorpion King?
Yeah.
Scorpion.
Spin off of the Mummy.
I mean, it is not a bad plan.
It's like a blanket. He just covers himself up. Whenever the storm passes,
Right, and that might not work, but it might not be a bad plan to get like a long tarp and then just roll yourself up in it and just lay there. Because at least then you're not getting your skin scraped off by the sand blasting you. You might get buried a little bit, though.
Yeah, I shudder to think what sort of new damage type a sandstorm.
It's It's sandpaper damage. You can't block sandpaper damage.
Yeah.
It's not on paper, but it's still sand, so it counts as sandpaper damage.
If only there was some sort of tiny hut that could be used to
I know, right? I don't got that one. I could protect us from scrying. Yeah. I mean, I also have, a glyph of warding, so I got it prepped and everything. It just takes a little while to cast.
Does that help us with sandpaper damage?
Only one way to find out. That's the main thing. How long are we going to be here?
Well, I think I was open. Like, we threw our whole sleep schedule off by starting to move at night. So, like, Ivar needs to sleep now, and then we need to go to town to buy like a new tent and that stuff, and then we go back. But I don't know what time we're going to get back from town.
So it was probably like 10 a.m. where you were when the sandstorm finally hit and you left.
So it's
5
later
hours.
here.
Which means, right. So it's like 3 p.m. now back at the Hanson Mansion, and you guys still have not slept.
We've partially.
So let's go back tomorrow night.
So 8-hour
local time.
8-hour rest. So that puts you at about 11 p.m.
Well, and Ivar has to take his bath first. So that's like an hour.
and of course, even if you went into town, nothing's open. So you got to wait until the morning. So you're probably looking at earliest getting back next day around the same time. We're there. So like leaving about 3 p.m. the next day. And then it'd be 10 a.m. back where you are.
I mean, since I don't really have a preference whether we move during the day or during the night, since water's not going to be as big an issue. Slight preference for moving at night because then I could just fly and I'll be perfectly safe.
Are you sure?
Well, okay, not perfectly, but relative to all the people on the ground, including the guy with the world's brightest flaming sword.
Oh yeah, Tony, were you there when that was discussed?
What's that?
His flaming sword is a 40. It creates an area of 40-foot radius of bright light, and then 40-foot beyond that of dim light.
That's fucking absurd.
So it's really.
I think it's more than fucking daylight.
It's really like a tower of flame that erupts from a sword.
It's like a bonfire you can hold in your hand.
Right. So I'm thinking anything that comes up on us in the desert, if it's relying on eyesight at all,
it's blind
first. Plus, you got all those heat-seeking worms that live there.
Which you would imagine would have a harder time during the day, but not these ones.
But if you don't mind marching through the heat, I will also be willing to march through the heat. I'm not completely opposed to it.
I mean, I think the nighttime is a good time. I'd rather be chilly than frying in my armor.
I think I might go and harass a blacksmith about finding my butt latch as well.
You mean the one right there? No.
So if you went to any blacksmith, they would be like, they wouldn't even know where to begin because they're like, we can't work on it unless you can take it off.
I just want to open my butt latch.
If it had one, it'd be right there, they say.
Oh, well. What good are you? And I just walk away.
I imagine Peach would be like, you're probably related to Flamekeeper Stenson.
Yeah, Flamekeeper Stenson told you to tell me that.
Totally useless.
So then Ivar will, if the plan is that we'll go back and march through the night, it still makes sense. Like we still have to go into town and all that. So we'll probably go back the next night. Ivar then, after his bath, will do whatever he can to keep himself awake for a while. Because going to bed at 3 p.m. and then having to stay up essentially until the next night is a bad plan.
Okay, so you guys are going to be leaving later in the evening then to get there about early evening.
Yeah, duskish.
Right.
All right. So when you bamf back in,
And everyone might want to buy like torches or something, even though Tower of Flame over here doesn't need any.
can't hear you, Tony.
Shit. Keep doing that. I have torches, but I'll probably continue with dark vision. The spell, so.
All right.
Unless they have artisanal torches, Marthal might not buy any.
You're bougie.
If real life were D&D, there would be artisanal torches. Somebody would hand carve every torch.
And they'd claim, oh yeah, you see these grooves, they help the flame travel into the right direction so that you're getting maximum lightage as well as heat dispersal.
Hey, there's a company in Brooklyn that makes artisanal pencils by hand. And as far as I know, they don't even claim that they're better than regular pencils. they're just like $15 a pencil.
They're just handcrafted pencils. Did they come with like a special sharpener? Like,
I haven't seen the packaging they come in. I know somebody who had one, but I didn't think to ask about that.
Wow. All right. Well, anyways, you guys, when you bamf back in after getting all your new supplies and stuff, the storm has subsided. Everything is clear. Most, like, the tents are largely buried underneath sand. I don't know how many tents you guys had, but you're only able to find one. But one of the things that you notice that's a little disturbing is the tent that you do find is one cut to shreds, as if it was clawed and ripped. And also there is what appears to be sand encrusted, dried out entrails.
Do they smell like lichen entrails?
Please tell me what lichen entrails smell like.
I would know, but Petrie would.
Which is why I want you to tell me.
It would smell nutty.
It's a bit nutty.
Okay. A bit of a nut aroma.
Really good.
Behind it, notes of lavender and lemon.
Yes.
Artisanal
I would pull out my book and I'd be like, "Yup, it says it right here."
entrails. So, that's what you guys see.
Well, I suppose if these are lichens, trusting for the moment that Petrie knows what lichen entrails smell like, I probably would rather fight lichens than another giant worm. So maybe the worms are less active when it's cold. There still seems like a plan to move forward. Plus, we've got to wait until Dawn's light touches that amulet anyway.
Someone's going to need my spare silver sword for fighting lichens, because it's definitely going to happen sometime soon. Oh no, I need two. That's right. I need two.
I mean, they didn't attack us last night, and they could clearly see you running around back and forth like a crazy person with your fire sword.
Yeah, they're just scared.
Don't fucking taunt him.
No,
Says
I'm not. You guys,
Tacitus.
that's what you are hearing in the distance.
Right, and that's what Tacitus said.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Say the Listen, you think what you want about lichens, about whatever kind of shifting motherfuckers they might be. They might be decent people. You don't know.
They definitely are not. They're cursed.
Yeah, you could
They
stop.
must be.
You could stop.
They must be purged. Come on, you little puppers. Come and fight me. And I'd be swinging my fire sword around.
Take a look around. I got dark vision going. Do we see any?
fine. Brandon, I sent you something.
Wants to load. I swing my sword like right next to me. And if anyone's next to me, I'm sorry, I just hit you with a flaming sword.
The hell are you doing?
Yeah, so as you do that, nothing is there.
Everyone can hear this growling and stuff, right? And you can hear it in your ears, near your ears. Come on, I'm not going crazy, am I? It's definitely lichens.
It might be. It might just be lichens. But if it is, they're only
playing their
fucking.
tricks.
They're only fucking with you. Yeah.
Playing their lichen tricks on me.
Yeah. Such is the way of life, I think. Let's get moving. You.
All right.
No,
If there are
point
Larkins,
to
they're much
Petrie.
more likely to attack you if they think you're walking away from them.
Yeah, Petrie, you lead. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm a little skittish, but I bravely step forward and just march along.
I'll be like 15 feet back.
And I will
Still in the light.
get at least 50 feet away from him and then fly 50 feet up.
Keeping an eye everywhere. I'm super jittery since the thing, so I'm always like looking behind me.
Maybe it's invisible.
Maybe. Do you see any
I'm
footprints
about
in the
to send you
sand?
something.
Even if it were invisible, it would still leave footprints in the sand.
Yeah.
As it walked, actively. You would see in each individual step. Did you see that?
I'm about to. Can I do a survival check?
I feel like Ivar is self-aware enough that he is sort of avoiding saying that Petrie's lycanthropes are all in his head, because there's this small chance that this creature he's seeing in the distance is all in his head. which is a thought that he doesn't like, thinking that maybe he's going crazy, and he immediately reports that into his magic rock.
All right.
As he's flying.
Well, I can't do it as I'm flying. I have to grip the edges of the cloak.
You go up high enough where you can like plummet for a minute so they can report real fast.
At about the same distance as the last time I saw them, or
Get closer.
so like I said, again, he doesn't like the thought that he's going potentially crazy seeing these things. So he's not going to report this. Look, yes, everyone might be killed, but at least I keep my dignity.
And really, what else is more important? All right. I think that's all I got in me for tonight, guys. And
Yeah,
that's
I
a
think so.
kind of a natural stopping point for us. Looks like.
All right, so Tuesday is my game.
Yes. So
Yes.
we will pick back up on the 13th. Yes. Is Tuesday evening still good for three of you?
One of my exams is on Wednesday, but it's at nighttime, so I might have to bounce a little earlier, but I should be good to come to it. I'll just be like, I'll probably leave a little early.
Okay.
As far as,
And
I know, I should be good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tuesdays still work for me.
all right.
Yeah.
I just, I was busy this Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
Oh, how'd your
Uh,
flight simulator time go?
It's pretty interesting that they saw some real-time troubleshooting. As the autopilot of the simulator didn't want to work.
Shit.
So we're like, it kind of worked. Basically, it was like waving us like up and down real far.
What
Wow.
the fuck?
Yeah. It was one of those things where like the fucking instructor who came in, who was going through it, he's he messaged somebody just to be sure there wasn't something else going on, and and it's one of those things where he's like, it was literally one of those have you tried turning it off and on again moments.
Okay.
Had to power the whole plane down, and fire back up again. It's not some shit you can do in flight normally, but
right. So if it were in flight, suddenly, plane is now just a big glider. Hopefully, it can maintain its glide.
I think in flight it just would mean that they wouldn't be able to use autopilot. They'd have to actually manually steer the plane the whole way.
Right. And they would be actual pilots, so presumably that would be okay.
Yeah, it would not be my 9-year-old kid. Yes.
Your 9-year-old is just like thrown into the Kobayashi Maru simulation. Somebody's like, listen, little girl, people are going to die. Either way, make a decision. All right, I go to bed. See you later.
Take
Bye,
care, everyone.
guys.
Later.